Why do you think getting your first pull-up can be so powerful for women?
Because if you can do one thing that you thought was impossible, you can do anything. Like you can translate it into so many other areas of your life. True confidence is going to come from trying. You have to try something. You can adjust your hands and it's going to change what muscle you're using. How cool is that? We don't even need a dumbbell. You don't even need a weight. You can change up and you can just do that anywhere.
Angela, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
This is my fellow June baby. We're both Geminis. And we were just talking before this, I feel like we are very similar in so many ways.
Yes, definitely.
And it's so fun to connect with you because you're such a big ball of energy like myself. And I'm like, oh my God, there's other people like me. I love this.
Yeah. I mean, fun fact, I don't know if you know this, but you're in my phone as Terry New Bestie.
Oh.
Because when I was in Colorado, I was so happy when I met you. I'm like, oh, she's a Gemini? Oh, we were going to go mountain biking?
And then we went one time.
Yeah, we went once.
And then we hung out for Halloween and then we both moved down to Austin.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long have you been here?
It's so funny. I always tell people 4 years, but it hasn't really been 4 years. It's 3?
Yeah, we moved in November of 21, so it's been 3.5.
Yeah, it feels like so much longer than that. I feel like I've been here for a lifetime.
Do you love it?
I'm obsessed with it. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, this is your spot.
This is my spot.
I love that.
Sure.
We really enjoy it here too, but we're also do we want to be here for a long, long time? Not sure.
Yeah.
Our ultimate goal, I say our, but this is my thing. I want to be by water, real beach. Give me the ocean so bad. Yeah.
That's honestly, same. I love the beach, but I also surf here on the lake. So I'm like, you know what? It's close enough. And I also feel a little safe. I don't know why. Austin just feels safe compared to all the natural things happening.
Yeah, exactly. That is very true. There's no hurricanes or tornadoes. We just get one little dusting of snow and we're oh my God.
Shut down everything if it snows in Austin.
So you are known as the pull-up queen.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Honestly, it feels pretty empowering to be known as the pull-up queen. I didn't know how I felt about it at first, honestly. But what's cooler about it, I think, is obviously I can do pull-ups. But I think what's more cool is that I've been able to help others at all ages get their first pull-up, which is something that if you go online right now and you try and look for things that are how to help women get pull-ups, there's not really anything out there that's specific enough to actually help a female, not a male.
Yeah.
So I really just kind of went all in on that because I've seen how empowering it's made every single one of my clients feel when they finally get it. So I'm like, why not just be the pull-up queen and just get everyone their pull-up?
What is the difference between males and females doing a pull-up?
For males, they definitely can get it easier. They just have so much more strength in their upper body and their lats. And for female, we carry a lot of our strength in our legs, right? Because we're going to have babies and do all the awesome stuff, right? So I feel like it's much harder for females to get it because of that. But I also feel like as a male, I feel like you're already told from the beginning, you're strong, you can do a pull-up, that kind of thing. Even from when you started off in high school, right? With the presidential and physical, you ever take that presidential fitness test, right? They told men right away, go do your pull-ups, hop on the bar. But they would tell the female, go hang on the bar. They wouldn't even empower them from the beginning to even get women don't have pull-ups, whatever. So I also feel bigger issue besides, them having just already natural strength in their back and that connection there is the mindset of,
you can't do it.
You can't do it. So you already had it then. And again, maybe it wasn't on purpose, right? The teachers probably didn't do it on purpose, but it's ingrained in the back of your head. Well, I can't do it. So why am I even going to try,
Why would I try? Wow, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, it's
this
really...
is why she's a speaker now.
It's really powerful. It's very powerful.
Gosh, it's so important and so valued that women, girls really, are taught that they can and should be strong.
Yep.
As they grow up.
It wasn't a beautiful thing growing up. I mean, we're similar age, so you probably, I feel like I'm so happy with where things are turning now. But growing up, strong was not beautiful.
Yeah.
Strong was not beautiful. I had muscular arms and I got made fun of so much. Yeah. Oh, she's manly, whatever. Wasn't a beautiful thing. So now I'm loving what is happening and how women are transforming into, oh, wow, strong is beautiful. Yeah. And even when women come up to me and they're like, wow, I love that you have that definition and you are strong. That feels so good because growing up, it was not hot.
Yeah. So like when you got that growing up in middle school and high school is what I'm assuming, what happened to you and how did you react to those situations?
Oh, it was awful. I mean, I look back and I remember so vividly going to school, and our school, the ACs like never worked, right? So it's like the summertime, and I didn't want anyone to see my arms because as soon as they saw my arms, someone's going to make a comment. Someone's going to like grab my arm. Someone's going to call me a man, like one of the guys specifically doing that, right? So I would hide them. I would put a sweatshirt on. I would be like sweating red, but I didn't want anybody to see them. So I really hid all of that strength and I didn't want anyone to see it. So it definitely did a number on my self-esteem because again, I didn't want anyone to see my body. But what was so cool is that when I would go to gymnastics, that was a place where I could be free. And I mean, strong was so beautiful in gymnastics. So it was so weird. It was like almost like living two different lives because I didn't want people to see the strength that I had from, doing gymnastics.
Why did we have to hide our strength so much?
I just think it's because they were putting you down so much. So you just start to feel worse and worse about yourself, right? You hear it so many times from people. They start saying stuff to yourself. Eventually you start to believe it. You start to believe, oh, maybe I am a man. Maybe I'm not beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to eat less or like we talk about now, be smaller.
Yeah.
And have smaller arms.
Yeah.
So I think that when you hear it over and over again, even though deep down you believe like, wait, like I'm actually can do some pretty cool things with my body.
Yeah.
You start to believe it.
Why do you think that being called a man is so negative?
Yeah, I mean, I think that being called a man so negative because I don't want to be looked at as a man. I want to be looked at as like a strong woman.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like that also makes me feel like if a man is being like, "Oh, you look like a man," I don't feel feminine. I don't feel like that strength that I want to feel. And why can't you be strong, powerful, and feminine at the same exact time,
Yeah. What was the switch for you then?
Honestly, it didn't switch for a very long time. I thought it was going to switch when I went to college gymnastics and I finally was like, oh, I'm in college sport. Everyone must have muscles and look like me, right? And that was not the case. That crew still didn't look that way. So I still kind of hid my body a bit. I honestly think it didn't switch until I got into fitness competitions.
Okay.
Which is where I finally saw from my mentor that, wow, muscles, strength, it's so beautiful. And then she was having me walk on a stage in a bikini with heels on. And after doing that a bunch of times, you eventually do feel really confident.
Yeah.
On stage if you're literally showing your butt and your muscles on stage to like these random judges. So I feel like I honestly didn't feel good in my body until way after, I would say after high school was when I finally started to feel confident in my body.
And so what made you get into bodybuilding and shows?
So after college gymnastics, like most athletes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, gymnastics, it's over. Like, that's it. Like, I think other sports, maybe like basketball or soccer, you can maybe get into like an adult league. And in Austin, that's very big, right? There's so many different sports here. But when gymnastics is over, like, it's pretty much over. Like, there's really not much to do. Like, what do you do next? So I felt very lost. And going into a gym personally, I didn't like it. Like, it was not fun. I'm like, you're telling me I'm going from flipping around, doing all this gymnastics to, okay, I got to go into this gym with these weights where everyone's quiet. They have their headphones on. Like, I'm like, this is not exciting or fun. So I kept trying to search for like, what is that thing? What is out there as an adult? So I honestly was just asking people around. I was living in Rhode Island at the time. And I wound up meeting this woman, Dawn Butterfield. And Dawn Butterfield did the fitness competitions. It was so funny. She's much, much older. She looks absolutely fantastic still. But I remember her giving me her phone number and the first time being like, call me. And I was so used to like just texting. Like I think nowadays like calling is kind of, I don't know. It felt kind of weird or whatever. She's like, call me. I don't text or I don't do online. I'm like, okay. So I remember looking at her number for a couple months and then being like, all right, I need to call her. Finally call her. She meets me up at a coffee shop. Tells me all about this new world of fitness where you have a full routine that you get to do on stage.
Okay.
And like in front of everybody. And it just seems super exciting. And she's like, I want you to meet my mentor, Kathy Savage, who was super big at the time with the fitness competition. So I met her and then Kathy looked at me for 1 second and she was like, I'm going to sponsor you. And I remember just being like, why? Like, you don't know me? Like, you don't even know if I'm going to perform, right? She's like, I just see it. I just know that you're going to do this. So that really started not only me feeling more confident in my body and showing up, but it also started this whole community of being with a group of women, because we were on a team now.
Okay.
And this team was all of us supporting one another, not only in fitness, but personal development, entrepreneurship, all this stuff like that. So it really opened up a huge door for me by meeting her.
I think this is such an important conversation because personally, I've never done the fitness competitions, but a lot of people will look at me and be like, oh, you should do this or try this because of the way your body looks, right? That's like the immediate thing. But a lot of people that I've talked to that have done it have a very negative connotation for it because of the eating disorders or, this like extreme dieting or extreme dehydration. And because I did not have a great, relationship with food growing up, I didn't want any part of it. So it's nice to hear that it was a positive experience for you.
Yeah. I mean, was it by the end? You were like, okay, I'm overeating chicken with barely any seasonings on it and stuff like that. But yeah, it absolutely can be what you make of it. It can absolutely be a super empowering thing. Also, what I loved so much, and again, luckily I had just had a really great mentor, and I do think there might be some coaches out there that maybe do it, not in a so great way.
Right.
She, the whole entire time, her whole mission was like, we're not going to deprive ourselves.
Okay.
So when we had to do, for Fitness America, you had to do an interview also, like very like Miss America. Like you not only like walked on stage, did a flip, you also had an interview. So when it came to that interview question, we always had said when they're like, oh, what are you craving? It's so excited for after this competition. And we'd always be like, well, we don't deprive ourselves here.
Love that.
And I loved that messaging that she had around it because it was true. I mean, I definitely learned how to eat properly and eat healthy, and I definitely had to do the cutting and stuff like that. But I was still having like a pumpkin muffin every week and still living. And I think that was really important and special about her.
So when did you stop?
So I stopped in 2016. My goal was to win Miss Fitness America, which I did. Yay.
Let's go.
But then I was so obsessed with the competitions. I was doing so many every single year.
How many did you do?
Oh man, 100? I don't know. A lot.
Really?
Yeah, I have all sorts of titles. I'm like a pro bikini winner. I just kept doing all the things. It was so fun. I was like addicted to it. So,
okay.
So I got Miss Fitness America in 2016. And after that, I don't know, I think sometimes when it's time to just do the next thing. And I don't know what it was, but I was like, I remember being backstage like before I competed, knowing that I like put all my work in, I did all the routine stuff I needed to, and just being like, this is gonna be my last time. I just knew, I don't know. Yeah. And then I crushed it on stage and I felt really good. And after that, it was kind of like, all right, on to the next thing.
Cool. And the next thing was?
American Ninja Warrior.
You've had so many. It's funny because you're so strong and so powerful and a petite woman.
Yes, yeah.
But have had so many fitness lives. Yeah. There's so many of us like myself. I'm like, I was a track athlete and now I'm like a strength training like person. That's kind of who I've always been. You've been a gymnast. You've been a bodybuilder, ninja warrior, like so many things.
Yeah.
So how did you get into ninja?
So Ninja Warrior was interesting because I never even watched the show. I didn't know what it was. And I like to tell people like I was a total accident ninja. Some of them said, hey, you used to be a gymnast. We see you as an athlete here. There's a show you should try out called American Ninja Warrior. And my friend, who was also a close mentor at the time, she was trying out for the show. And I didn't want to step on her toes because, you have a friend maybe who like does something and you're like, I kind of want to do that. But like also I don't want to.
Yeah, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, I don't want to do what like we were doing, but that I would kind of like it. So my friend just kept pushing me and saying, I really do think you're going to do good in this show. So you should just put a video in, she should support you. If you want to go, go do it. So we threw a video together super quickly. You have to do a submission video. And I forgot about it. And then a couple months later, I'm at another fitness competition, ready to compete.
Okay.
And I get a call. We were with our friend Jess, by the way. We have Jess Blazer. I'm with. I remember being in our bikinis, like getting all. We were like orange.
You did the competition with her?
Yeah, we were doing it together. And I get a call, and it's from like an 818 number. So I'm like, spam. Like, just let it go to voicemail. And then I look at the voicemail thing, and I like listen, and it was like, you've been accepted to American Ninja Warrior. Like with that, like I'm like.
Is this spam?
Yeah, I'm like, what? So I'm like, I go up to Jess. I'm like, Jess, I gotta call them back. Like, so she's sitting with me. I call back. They're like, yeah, you're accepted. Like, we'd love to have you on. Oh, we're gonna compete in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know how to ninja. So, I mean, that started a whole thing with like trying to figure out how to ninja in 2 weeks. So that was the beginning of that journey. Yeah.
Okay. So then Ninja Warrior, when did you stop that?
So literally last year. I decided to put my retirement on. I did it one more time last year. And then I decided, you know what? It's just the same thing as doing Miss Fitness America. I feel like I'm just ready for the next thing. Like you just start to evolve with what you're doing. It's hard sometimes because you're like So I feel like people know me as the ninja, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it anymore. But I feel like I've run my course with it.
But you know what's interesting is like, I'm sure people in high school and maybe college knew you as a gymnast. Then people in the 20s knew you as a fitness competitor. Then the ninja warrior, then the pull-up queen, which you are right now.
Yeah.
And now I know that you're kind of leaning into like wanting to be speaker and like more of a holistic look at your health and wellness, right?
For sure.
So you've had really cool chapters of your life.
Yeah.
So I hope you can look back at that and be like, hell yeah, and like brush your shoulders off a little bit.
Absolutely. I think it's what I've noticed now, and if you've ever studied or looked at human design, it was really helpful. So I feel like those things are also helpful. I don't know if I fully believe in one thing, but
of course.
I feel like you take what you need from some of them. And what it was saying in my human design was that you did all the things.
Yeah.
And now you need to spread the knowledge and wisdom to help others and lift them up. So I thought that was a really beautiful thing to look at, because I was like, yeah, kind of like we were just talking about, like kind of feeling like it's a death. I'm like, okay, I'm ending this chapter of my life, but I'm getting a rebirth into this next piece of my life, which is gonna help thousands and thousands of people hopefully step into whatever their power is, whether it be gymnastics, whether it be ninja, or again, helping all these leaders push past challenges. So I feel like, yeah, it's been tough, because there's that in-between moment where you're like, this feels kind of weird. I kind of feel a little different, but it's important.
It's scary.
It's scary for
It's
sure.
uncomfortable. It's unpredictable. You don't know. That's like really the beauty of entrepreneurship, but also the beauty of starting something new, which I'd love to go back to the pull-up thing.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like, so much of what you said is so true. Like strength is, we hide our strength and we don't want to show it, and then we get nervous, but then there's always this tipping point. Like you had it with your bodybuilding shows, and I had it when I was like, holy shit, I can lift so much weight. What can I do? And now we want to give that power to so many more women. So why do you think getting your first pull-up can be so powerful for women?
So there's so many reasons why getting your pull-up is so powerful. And I think so many women come to me right from day one saying, I've always wanted to do that, but I don't think I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always question them. I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you get it? And then when they start to show up each day and show up, it's going to be humbling. It's a humbling skill to get, right? But as what I've seen is that they start to get the skill a little bit higher, and they finally get above the bar. And what they realize is like literally you're physically and mentally lifting yourself up, which opens up so many other possibilities, right? Because if you can do one thing that you thought was impossible, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like you can translate it into so many other areas of your life. So it's so interesting. I started in this space to get your pull-up. This was years ago now. The women just kept coming to me. And it was just about the pull-up at first for me, because I was just, we were trainers, right? We're trainers. I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to get you your skill.
Yeah.
But what I started seeing every single time I was helping them get their chin above the bar, but wow, this is deeper than that. This is a whole mindset shift that they're having in their body. And every single woman that I've helped get their pull-up has seen so much power in their life, and so many, like, in their strength. It's also opened doors to like women who never wanted to lift and stuff like that. Like I've seen them now go from, oh cool, got my pull-up. Oh cool, I can try kettlebells. I can jump in on a barbell now. Like let me try things that I've never thought I could do before. So there's such an inner power and strength that comes with the pull-up that's so much more than just the physical strength part of it.
What are the reasons why people say that they can't do it?
Oh, wow. There's so many reasons.
Give me a few of the top.
Yeah, at the top. Let me just say the top one right away, because you're going to love this one. I'm too heavy.
Okay.
I'm too heavy, and I need to lose some weight first and become smaller before I even try the pull-up.
Yeah. How do you respond to that?
So I always tell them, you're not too heavy. Because it's not about that. You can keep saying I'm too heavy and you can keep waiting to try it, but the truth of the matter is you're going to build strength while you're working on that skill.
Right.
So if you keep waiting and saying I'm going to be lighter. And I've also seen women who are pretty heavy do a pull-up. Yeah. I've seen women who are so light can't do a pull-up.
Yeah.
So if the weight actually doesn't matter, that's a misconception that you have in your mind that, okay, if I get lighter, it's just going to be easier to pull myself up. But that's not true at all.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple episodes ago, probably at this point, maybe a few more than that, we talked a lot about growth versus fixed mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say that you can't do something, just like, so many of the people that come to us say that they'll never be able to do this. Oh, it's just me. I'm going to fail. Why try if I'm going to fail? You believe that is true.
Yeah.
If you're going to say something over and over and over again, like, why do you expect to be able to get it?
Yeah.
So I know so much of what you do with pull-ups is obviously the strength, putting in the reps, but like it's the mindset too. So how can you get someone to that positive or that realm of like saying that they can do this and truly believe it?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes some practice, right? Because I think that true confidence is it doesn't just come. True confidence is gonna come from trying. You can't not try. You have to try something.
Yeah.
And then when you get a little bit of hint and a little proof of, wow, I'm getting a little closer, you start to become more confident, and then you slowly start to believe. But what I like to do with them is, and this is, so I call this the pull-up revolution way of getting your pull-up, and I make them attempt their pull-up before they have it all the time. And it's hard. That's hard to do that, right? Because I'm making them jump up on the bar when they literally can't do it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm making them do it frequently.
Yeah.
So what I always tell them to do is, how can we snap into a highest version of ourselves right now while you attempt something hard like this?
Yeah.
So we typically do is we dance and like get out of our head and we like shake it out, kind of like how our dogs like will shake it out to kind of like reset ourselves.
Yeah.
And then I ask them to, and some people call this future pacing, but I ask them to think about a time where they did feel really powerful. Think about a time where you did do something that you never thought you can do. And I want you to go back to that feeling. How did that feel when you did it with something else? Again, maybe it wasn't a pull-up. There's definitely some point in your life. And if you haven't had that feeling, what do you think that feeling would feel like? And the best way to help them channel that is to start trying to feel it now before they even have it while they're trying it. So we channel that energy, and then I have them try these humbling moves. And each day they start to get a little bit more confidence because they are in fact showing up and they're trying.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get confident with it, and you're not going to feel better about it if you're just sitting there looking at the bar and like shaking your head and being like, I'm too heavy the whole time. You got to snap yourself out of it.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of exercises in my program that are very powerful mentally, and that's a huge piece of that.
What is some like small win that they see in the beginning?
Yeah, so a small win they probably see, we typically start with like getting excited about your hang time, right? Jumping on the bar. If you can only hang for like 5 seconds, first of all, celebrate that. Hell yeah, five seconds. And then your goal, can you hang for 8 seconds? Cool. We're going to celebrate those small little wins.
Yeah.
I break up the pull-up into 8 different phases. So typically when you think about any kind of goal, again, whether it be a pull-up or again, maybe it's like an end goal you want to think about the end destination, like when we get all over there.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be fun. That's not going to get you there faster. Instead, you want to break it up into small pieces. So I have them go through their phases. So they identify what phase they're at in their pull-up. Let's say they're at phase 1, and their goal is not to get to phase 8 and rank out like it's, can I get a small bend in my elbow? That's it. That is it. You just focus on that small little win. And then when you get the small little bend in your elbow, cool, the next week, can you get a little more bend, a little higher?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we break it up into those small pieces. So this way it's much more obtainable and more fun, obviously.
Do people see 8 phases and they're like, fuck, 8 phases? That seems like a long time.
Yeah, it seems like a long time, but I always tell them if you're always focused on that 8th phase, it's going to be really hard. But if you're just focused on the one right in front of you, and again, I always remind them, translate to anything that you want in your life right now. I get it though, because I know I'm impatient and I want things tomorrow all the time.
Yesterday, actually.
I want things like yesterday. So it's really hard for me to also have that mindset. So it really works in all other areas of your life, because it's like, okay, cool, whatever goal it is you have, whether it be pull-ups or whatever it might be, don't look at the end goal. What's just phase 1? What can you do to just have a win tomorrow with that and celebrate that? You're going to get there faster, and it's going to be 10 times more fun if you do that.
So what are the 8 phases?
So so we'll break down, but it's basically like, you're hanging on the bar and that's it. Then the second one is like, okay, jump up, slight bend in the elbow.
Okay.
Then the next one is like, okay, cool, I'm getting halfway there, but maybe you're still kind of like pulling a little bit like over your shoulders and your lats. Then you're all the way up. Awesome. Got the pull up all the way up.
Phase 4, we're all the way up.
But phase 4, we're all the way up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we really break it out into like small little pieces. And then the other phases, the higher phases, are, okay, cool, I can do 2, and now I'm trying to get 3, and then I'm 4, and then I'm 5. So like, so it definitely increases like as we go. But I really tried to break it up into like a little bit more, all the way up. Okay, cool, I'm all the way up, but like it still kind of feels like not great yet. And then multiple. So we break it up into the phases like that.
See, I thought you were talking about one pull-up is 8 phases. So I'm
no.
Okay, just hands on the bar.
Yeah.
Just hanging.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the other thing too. I feel like women come into the program wanting one pull-up, but like typically they're leaving with like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Or like this, I was just doing a video about it today. It was so wild. All my coaches have done pull-up revolution, which is really cool. One of them started at 0 and I see it. They're doing like 10. They're
Yeah.
doing like weighted pull-ups. Like this one girl was told she was too tall, literally told by somebody, told she's too tall and she's too heavy and it's going to take you a really long time to get pull-ups. And she was like, now it makes me want to just like, she was like, this drives me. I want to do like 10. So she's doing like 10 now and she's doing weighted pull-ups.
Wow.
And I'm like, they come in with that possibility of like even just wanting one. And like most of the time they're all leaving with like multiple.
What is the average time?
That's the biggest question.
I was going to say,
how long
I'm
is
sure.
it going to take me? It really depends. I really can't say. I mean, I've had people get it in 7 days. I've had people get it 14. I've had people get it in the 12 weeks. I've had people who it did take 6 months. I think the biggest difference I see from the people who get it in a couple weeks and the people who get it in months comes back to your mindset. More
mindset than actually consistency.
I mean, yeah. I mean, consistency is a huge piece of it. But like I said, if they're showing up and they're still like shaking their head every 2 times and they're like not really convinced with the method or they're not going to get it. Like, and I see that all the time with the mindset. But yeah, obviously consistency is huge. If you're going to show up and actually do, the stuff that I give you for 5 days a week, you'll most likely get it faster. If you're like just sprinkling it in and kind of doing it here and there. I always tell people like try and think about your goal as one goal at a time too. If you really want to get it, like you can do all the goals, but not all at once. So if you really are like, I want my pull-up, which a lot of women say, I'm like, just go in, get the pull-up in your 12 weeks, and then you can keep going to your next goal after.
Yeah. I love that. No, I love the way you break it up. What is the difference between, and do you coach this, like pull up, chin up, neutral grip? Is that important?
Yeah, I mean, huge difference. I think what's so cool, I mean, I just love calisthenics. What's so cool about the pull up, the push up, you can adjust your hands and it's going to change what muscle you're using. How cool is that? We don't even need a dumbbell. You don't even need a weight. You can change up and you can just do that anywhere. So I teach the classic pull up, which is going to definitely utilize your back and your lats. That's probably the hardest one for women to get because in our everyday life, we are not typically using that muscle ever. So our central nervous system isn't even connected to that like lat muscle. Okay. But I like to teach that one first because if you nail that, the rest of them are easy. Like I feel like you can get the rest of them. Neutral grip, a little bit easier, just because your shoulders are much more like neutral. And again, it's not using your back as much. You can use your bicep a little bit more. And then chin up is typically more of your bicep. And we're able to do that a lot easier typically because we are like lifting things up in our everyday and using and utilizing that muscle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what's so fascinating about the pull-ups, you just change your hand adjustments a little bit and it's completely different.
Now, I've always been like chin ups are way easier, but then I know that people that say the opposite. Do you feel like that is the same for men? Or does it depend?
I would say, I mean, I feel like men just like get it so much easier. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they're both pretty equal, to be honest. For men, I personally think so. Just because they already have like, I don't know, I feel like their back is just already developed in that way. And even like their biceps and their upper body are typically, so I feel like for them, they're both probably around equal, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. And you mostly work with women on these?
Only women.
Only women.
Yeah, so the group is only women. I have so many men who'll be like, can I come in? I'm like, I'm sorry. I like really want to keep it as like a safe space because like the men will come in and no offense, I love guys. Guys are...
We love men.
We love men. But
not all men.
Exactly. But like they'll hop into the group and like it becomes very intimidating for a woman to have this men like cranking it out or just like the way they are. So I really wanted to create a safe space where it's only women. And we talked about this before, but typically my women are like 40s, 50s, 60s. I've got like 76-year-old in there. Like typically it's older women, and to have that space, safe container where they can be vulnerable and go through this journey without having like a man in there, I think is important.
So I mean, we don't have to go into exactly what your program is because I'll definitely link in the description. And I've sent people to you and they've loved it. The exercises, like, do you give them back specific exercises or grip outside of just the bar? Yeah. So that's really, really important. So I feel like a huge disconnect and gap that I was seeing in other pull-up programs, because I've downloaded every pull-up program, is they only are doing the strength movements. They're only doing like eccentric pull-ups, which can be very intimidating for people. Right.
Like, eccentric, for those of you who might not know, it's like you jump on the top of the bar and you have to lower yourself down. That's very hard.
It is.
You go to do that, like a lot of people just drop and then they're like, I give up. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. A lot of stuff that people are missing is stuff off the bar. Because again, we're trying to get our mind and body to connect to this lat muscle, which our connection, the pathway is not there central nervous system wise, right? So we need to get it to fire up. So things that really help with that is mobility, which I know you love mobility. So overhead mobility, right? So your hands are over your head. It's not about just getting your hands over your head, but like, can you function in that movement? So doing a lot of mobility moves in order that really does help that central nervous system start to connect to the right areas.
Yeah.
And stability moves. So making sure you're doing an equal amount of pulling as pushing. So you're not all of a sudden like injured or like hunched forward or whatever. I feel like all of that is really important off the bar in order to get it. So we mix that up, and my method, I do mobility, stability, strength. That's every workout, same thing. Mobility, stability, strength. You're going through those different pieces. And again, most people are very surprised because they're not even on the bar until they get to the strength part of my workout. They're off the bar, the whole beginning part.
Yeah.
And actually those things, mobility, stability, is actually probably what gets them their pull-up faster.
Ooh, I love that. I love to hear that. And I love that that's the order that you do it into. It's super important.
Yeah.
What do you think about band-assisted pull-ups?
So so funny, people will like come to me and be like, she's a hater of band-assisted pull-ups.
I'm a hater, to be honest.
She told me never to use the band. I'm like, whoa, slow down. Okay, if for trainers, if any trainers are listening to here, if you're just throwing your client on the band and you're just telling them to take the bands off, like, I feel like you're doing them a disservice.
For sure.
Because unfortunately, the band, it does help you because it makes you feel more powerful. It makes you say, oh, I can do this. But it helps you with the hardest part of the pull-up, which is the bottom. It's like a rubber band. It's going to fling you up. And then as soon as they take all the bands away, they're wondering why they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And typically it's because you actually might have the strength for the top part of the pull-up, but you never got the bottom strength of the pull-up. So first thing we do in my program is always bottom part. Like, let's focus on the bottom piece of the pull-up, and let's again focus on the pull-up from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
And once they move past that bottom piece and they get the strength that we teach them and the mind-body connection, they typically, like, that's why it's so easy to get the rest of it up. But yeah, you're doing a disservice if you're only using the assisted band. But don't tell the world that I canceled the band and, like, I hate extreme things. Like, I'm not canceling the band. It's definitely a tool that you utilize. But if you're only doing that, you'll find yourself stuck on it.
What do you think about the band around the hooks?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I love those.
Love that. Yeah. People don't have that set up all the time.
That's true, because you do a lot of with people at home where they have the bar around.
Yeah. I mean, typically none of my women are going to the gym. So typically they're all like pull-up bar in their doorway, bands. But if you have a rig, I love being able to attach it like to the side like that. I feel like it's definitely a lot easier I'm sure it's much easier than trying to like loop it on
get it over there. Yeah. Or even what about an assisted machine? What do you think of those?
I think the assisted machines are good to build strength, but it's just not specific enough to the pull-up to like actually make it happen. When you think about what a pull-up really is, it's really your ability to hold tension for a significant amount of time. And I still just feel like the assisted one, it's cool, like, because people be like, should I be able to get my entire body weight first on the assisted, machine first before even trying one? I'm like, no. Like, it's not specific enough, like, to do it. So I feel like it's, again, great tool, great workout move, but is it specific enough to the pull-up to really get it? I don't think so.
What do you think about grip strength? Is that involved in this at all?
Grip strength is obviously so important. Yeah. And I love grip strength for other reasons besides just the pull-up. I mean, we obviously are really big into longevity, but, increasing your grip strength is going to improve your overall health and longevity. How incredible is that? And grip strength is absolutely super important. And what's so great is while you're working on your pull-up, while you're hanging on the bar, you're just going to naturally start to develop better grip strength. So I like to tell people, we're going to make you live longer by being here.
Why is that true?
So when you get older, and again, I'm not sure if you said this in podcasts before, the likelihood of a fatal fall is much higher. And it's so wild. I think you've probably seen this now as you're getting older. I'm seeing more and more of that happening around me. Like with
younger too.
Yeah, younger, older, like slipping on ice, falling down the stairs randomly, all sorts of stuff. And I never fully understood it until you start to see it like happen in your everyday life.
Yeah.
And grip strength, you'll be able to get yourself up or pull yourself up and things along those lines if you actually have some decent grip strength. So typically you're able to live longer. Also, typical things that you don't think about, opening a door, opening a jar. Yeah. There's a lot of things that grip strength really helps with your life. And if you do not have that, it's going to be much harder to live a higher quality life, and you're more likely to have some kind of fatal incident happen.
Yeah, or even helps with arthritis as well.
Yes.
And then I will say, just for me personally, I don't use straps a ton when I lift, and people are always like, oh my God, your grip, you can lift so much heavier. Of course I can, but like I always feel I'm only strong. I'm only as strong as my grip. And so I'd rather work that. Like, sure, I can lift heavier on deadlifts or whatever with straps, but like I actually really enjoy doing it without it because then I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking strong because it's raw.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, I always tell people like, don't use, I hate straps. Don't use straps. I'm like, don't use gloves.
Yeah.
I don't like gloves.
Oh yeah. Talk about this. Why shouldn't they use gloves?
So I think of it the same way. People like always ask me like, why? I think of it as how we think about like barefoot shoes. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So like think about like, I like to train barefoot personally.
Yeah.
Like I was a gymnast, so I feel like there's like this, then there's like this gap between like you actually utilizing the muscles in your foot.
Right.
And it's the same thing with like when you're using the gloves, you're not really like building up the calluses and the strength and stuff like that in your hands when you have the glove like blocking it.
Yeah.
So I really tell people, use liquid chalk. I have liquid chalk literally in my purse at all times.
Yeah.
Like get some liquid chalk instead. Get used to having that. The liquid chalk will help with some friction to make you less sweaty and like actually hang on to the bar and stuff like that. But I'd rather you not use gloves so you actually build up those calluses in your hands. Are you going to be walking around all day with gloves on for like other things? Like
no, but you will walk around with sick calluses.
Yeah, you're gonna look so cool, like your athletic hands. So yeah, just not a fan. I know there's some like discrepancies with that. People have was it like eczema? I've had people who had like some skin issues, so like I totally get that. But I really do encourage them like don't use the glove. It's gonna be annoying at first. You're gonna feel it even when you lift, like right. You're gonna feel your hands are gonna feel a certain way, but when you keep doing it, it builds up, and then it's fine.
Just like everything else, if you just keep doing it, it'll get easier. Right?
It's not gonna be easy on day one. It's fine.
Yes. Tell me about the muscle up. I'm trying to get it. Can you get a muscle up?
Muscle up. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely a pull-up expert. I wouldn't say I'm a muscle-up expert. I have a muscle-up just because I think I was a gymnast and we did like kips and stuff. If you want to get your muscle up, I do think obviously pull-ups is the first step no matter what. And then make sure you're practicing your pull-up with your thumbs under the bar because you can do the pull-up with thumbs over or under. There's no right way to do it. But if you are trying to get a muscle up, I would make sure thumbs under the bar so this way you can like you already have your thumbs there to just kind of pull like to wrap around the bar and come up.
Yeah.
And I would say make sure you have like a good clean like 10 pull-ups. Like you should feel pretty good with that. And then the rest of it is pretty much technique. So best place to start would be ring muscle ups. Like work on a ring muscle up. You can really get a technique down a lot simpler because it's neutral and stuff like that on the rings. And then once you have that, I would move up to the bar.
I'd say for me personally, this is very personal. I can get 16 pull-ups in a row. I'm like, all right, I can crush these.
Let's go.
As soon as I try to like do that movement, I'm like, my body's like, what is happening? Because I never was in CrossFit. I don't know how to kip at all. And so I just the body awareness isn't totally there.
I think for you then it would be breaking up you can break the muscle up and I can even send them to you. You can break the muscle up into just a couple of different drills.
Yeah.
And then just practice each drill individually, not the whole thing, and do that for a few weeks and then try it. So it's kind of like, because the muscle up is like these specific different pieces. But you have the strength for it already. So now for you, it's just technique. Like how do we get the technique of just breaking down each piece so that you can get up? Once you have the technique down, you'll be able to get rid of it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
you see what she just did? She just broke it up into phases, like your pull-up revolution. we gotta break it up into phases, and I can't do it once a month and expect to see any progress, right?
Yeah, so maybe just putting it. I mean, what I love to do is like do your workout. I mean, sometimes I'm like I don't want to do my workout, but I do it, and then like I always have like a skill that I'm playing with, like at the end of it. So it's like a reward. Like, cool, I'm gonna like do all the workout stuff, and then I'm gonna work on my skill that I really want to work on right now, whether it be like a handstand or like a muscle up or something fun.
What's your skill right now?
Right now, I mean, I'm trying to do a handstand where like you do some like cool stuff with your legs.
Okay,
So you always see, I mean, you might see me in the gym sometimes with my friend Francesca, but we'll work out and then after we're like handstanding, trying to like mess around with like doing some cool stuff with our legs and stuff.
Have you ever been able to do like a zombie press?
Handstand?
Like you're on your belly and you like a zombie press.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Where you like just like pike up into a handstand.
Yeah, I can do that. That's typically what we would do. If you ever watch like my old Fitness America videos, when one of my routines was Mad Max. And I was a zombie. So I literally did a zombie press at the beginning of it in like a zombie costume.
I love it.
It's so fun though. It was so fun. I learned all of that too after college. I learned all of that like, I thought that sometimes I think I thought sometimes in college after gymnastics, like that was it. I couldn't learn anymore. But it's so cool, like noticing that you can learn a new skill at like any age and like to learn all these new things.
Do you ever get to a point where you're just like, this is too hard? Or have you given up on any skill or goal that just seems like way too far-fetched?
I don't think I've given up on goals. I think there's been certain things as I've gotten older that I used to be such a daredevil and just kind of crazy. And I'm just kind of like, I want to keep my body in one
Yeah.
piece. So I think there's certain things now where I'm like, all right, I would have tried that when I was younger, but I'm not going to try that now because there is a massive risk of me getting like majorly hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what mental blocks do you have right now, if any?
Ooh, I think my biggest mental block it's not even fitness. Like we were talking about this before. Like it's really transitioning. Because I'm doing a lot. I still want to keep myself with my pull-up program, what we were saying, transitioning into keynote speaking and really shifting. It's kind of like this rebirth of this new, it's not all fitness that I'm teaching, and taking all the things that I've learned from fitness, all the things that I've learned from all these competitions and things, and really putting it into true words to help other people, not only in fitness, but just in life.
How has that shown up for other people that you've worked with?
Like for the people who've done their pull-ups?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, specifically, I can think of my client Liz, who she got her pull-up, and now she's also, after that, went right into working on kettlebells. Now she's shifted from being the women's health editor into like a whole new space of like, oh, I'm on my own, I'm doing this thing. But she knows that she's overcome so many challenges from before this that she can handle anything that's like coming her way now. So I feel like it's really cool to see the evolution of like what that skill can do, and just also what you can do again once you've done like one thing that's felt kind of impossible.
I think what's really cool about just like our industry and who we are as humans is that we know that we can do it, and we know how powerful it was for us. So now we just want everyone to feel that way.
Absolutely. If I can get anyone to feel that way, because I mean, and I think it's so interesting because like we're talking right here, right now, and we are maybe like upbeat and everything's so great, right? But we were talking about this before, like that this is not easy. Like you are typically in the dark with a lot of things. There's this one quote I'm like obsessed with. I use it in my keynote talks all the time. It says, "When one door closes, another one opens, but no one talks about the hallway in between."
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, so we use that. And I feel like a lot of what I do in my keynotes, a lot of what I do with my pull-ups, yes, obviously it's about like this new door opening, the door closing and the new door opening of this new person you are. But no one talks about how dark the hallway is, how like scary it is, how hard it is to show up each day when things are not going as planned and things are really, really tough. But we've grown so much when we do that, right? You grow so much in that hallway, which I think is like the hardest part. So you see all the fancy stuff, but the growth happens in that middle piece.
And I think that is not talked about nearly enough, but I think it's not because it's not sexy. How can we make the dark hallway sexy again?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
If it ever was,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, how can we? I mean, it all comes back to the same thing that you hear over and over again, which is like you're supposed to enjoy the journey, it's not about the destination, it's the journey. You hear it over and over and over again. But yeah, I agree. I think that you just say it like that and it's like, oh, it's supposed to feel, even when we say it like that, it feels easy, but
it's not.
It's not. And I think more will help anybody, and it's exactly what we're doing here, is when we are vulnerable. We are sharing that. We are sharing, again, not just I got from here to here. We're sharing, oh, in the middle, like, again, it was so great being able to talk to you before this because we were both just like, oof, like we're going through it. We're trying to figure out this stuff right now. But I do also know internally, both of us deep down inside know that whatever that is that we're having a hard time with it, I just somehow we have this feeling that we're gonna get through it. Like we know we're gonna be able to do it somehow.
And I think that's beautiful. Like right before we had this conversation, we had each other to talk to. We have programs that women are able to connect with each other. Like I'm sure you've had this too. I have had retreats with women I've worked with for years, and they've become friends and gone travel. And it's such a beautiful place to be, because not only are we helping and inspiring them, but it's like not about us anymore. It's about the trickle effect that they can bring to their community too, which is
absolutely
so powerful.
Definitely nothing to do. I mean, I think that's where a lot of stuff shifts, right? Because again, originally you get into this to be like, oh, I'm a fitness coach, I'm going to teach fitness, but then you just realize the deeper impact it's going to have. It's going to trickle to all these different people. We just had a call for my Pull-Up Revolution crew last night, and they just said how helpful it was because those women were sharing their struggles. They were sharing that dark hallway in between. They're like, I showed up today, I felt like it was harder, X, Y, and Z. And then we started to really talk through it. And then they all just felt so much better at the end of the call because they're like, wow, like each of you are in your own little hallway trying to figure out your own thing. And we're here together, empowering each other, lifting each other up. And how incredible is it to have that? You don't need to do it alone. You don't need to be alone when you're going through these hard moments.
So that dark hallway can also have people in the window looking in and cheering you on.
Yeah, I love that. See, wait. Don't you like visualize it when you
Yeah,
say it?
100%.
I'm like so like in there. I'm like, wow. And I remind myself when I'm having those moments and I'm journaling and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm trying to do this in between moment. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, exactly. Who are those different people that you can lean on? I'm so grateful to have great women like you in my life, and even my own community. My own community helps. I mean, do you feel this way? Like,
oh my God, I
my
love
community
them.
inspires me. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be like, I'm the head person of this, but I'm like, you all are inspiring me every single day when you're
100%.
showing up and you're posting.
Yeah, it's so cool also to be on social media as long as we have too, because it's like we've shared so much of our journey and people can relate to that so much, but it also allows us to be vulnerable and people like step in and relate to that as well. So it's a beautiful place. Like I'm so thankful that I'm in the fitness industry, honestly, because we're able to see so much change happening, especially as women, especially with women being stronger.
I'm so grateful with the evolution that I'm seeing with it. Like, I mean, it seems like most people are over trying to be smaller.
Yeah.
They're over taking up less space. And that makes me so happy. And I'm actually seeing it more in even like the media and stuff like that, because typically the media is like where it starts. Again, it's like get smaller, do this, like lean out, bikini body. And now I'm seeing stronger, longevity. I'm seeing like 60 years old women being, featured in these. I'm like,
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you want to leave the community with?
Ooh. What do I want to leave the community with? Okay. I think the biggest thing that I'm thinking right now, because just also I'm in it right now, is just a reminder that when you're growing, growth is not going to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be uncomfortable. So taking the reframe, whether it be for your pull up or wherever it is you're right now, to if you are in that uncomfortable moment right now, how exciting is that? Like, what an opportunity for you to grow. And I was talking about this last night with my ladies. It's like, if you reframe that to, oh, this sucks, this is awful, to, wow, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, I get to get through this. I feel like you are going to just live an even better life and just feel so much better about the journey that you're on right now.
I love that so much. Where can people find you? Where can people join your pull-up revolution?
Woo! So I'm at Angela_Gargano. Feel free to message. It's so funny. I don't know if some people will tell you like, is it actually you? And I'm like, yeah, literally. I don't know.
It's me.
I'm like, guys, I don't know who you think is running my page. And then if you want to check out Pull Up Revolution, that has an Instagram too, at Pull Up Revolution. You can see all the women on there. Typically, sometimes we're doing, like right now, I'm doing this thing called Your First Pull Up. So it's like a free training. So we do those typically with a little workshop just to get you to feel empowered and getting excited to jump in. But yeah, that's where you can find us.
Yes. And she will respond to her
I'm
DMs.
it's literally me,
Just
not a bot.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to know you as a human, and just your words are very powerful, and I can't wait to see you speak one day.
Thanks. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.